weeks, I think I got a summary. The summary, I think, is most relevant to two witnesses. Joanna Yu dengan Datuk Sri
Husni.
Husni. Yeah, Husni. Yeah. So only two lah yang I should give a summary. Yeah. Now Joanna Yu sebab benda tu dah lama. Let me take you through just 8 points. First, I think Joanna, we have proven, takes instruction from Jolo. For SRC, Gandingan Mentari, and also Datuk Sri Najib punya account. All transaction in all these three areas, she takes instruction from Jolo, although Jolo is not a person authorized to deal with this account. In the case of Datuk Sri Najib, it was only Nik Faizal. But we prove about this. That's number one. Very important. Number two, whenever contact with SRC or Gandingan Mentari and Nik Faizal, she said she made this contact. It is clear that she was saying that these were formalities because the real contact and instruction she took from Jolo. These others were just formalities. Now then, SRC and Gandingan Mentari, from a financial standpoint, effectively under Jolo's control. Through, and I use this strong word, through the cohorts of Terence Gay and Nik Faizal. Number four, the modus operandi, the MO, used to shuttle the monies from SRC, Gandingan Mentari, via scanned instruction letters bearing signatures which are all not original, they are scanned, purportedly belonging to Dato' Suboh or Nik Faizal, or rather and Nik Faizal, wherein originals are only given after the fact. You know, this original, when they arrive, they do not reflect mirror image of the scanned copy, which is highly suspicious. And sometimes they don't even arrive at all. So in that aspect, the bank is also have got problem. How come you don't wait to get the original? Then apart from Terence Gay and Nik Faizal, Jolo had also enlisted the connivance of Ang Suling, using her controlling position over IPSB through Yarim to channel funds to Datuk Sri Najib Mereka. So she was also used by Jolo. Then Ang Suling is, we have proven through this witness testimony and chat logs between Jolo, Terence Gay, Joanna Yu and Suling, that instruction came not from Dato' Azrin, although they all claim, remember Dato' Azrin, but he died, so it's easy to blame a dead person. So it is not from Dato' Azrin, but through Jolo. In other words, she had positively not told the truth about Dato' Azlin's role in channeling 27 million Malaysian plus 5 in December and RM 10 million to Datuk Sri Najib's account. That's very important. Okay? Number 7, the transfers made to Datuk Sri Najib's account per the charges were made in a reactive fashion, knee-jerk fashion, very reactive. Why? Why was this done? Is because every now and then there is a shortfall. Once there is a shortfall, you need to cover. Now, why is there a shortfall? Because Datuk Sri Najib does not manage his account. He has been told there's a lot of money there. He issues check. And because people have misled him, Jolo and company have misled him, he issued accounts. He issued checks, hoping that this will be met. This is why the rest, young conspirators, all run around like a chicken without head to ensure that the money is always there. Sometimes just the exact amount. Okay? So Datuk Sri Najib has been misrepresented, in other words, to the state of his accounts. Otherwise, he would not have been issuing the checks. So this is also consistent. Remember, there was one part of the evidence that there were messages from Jolo to say, at all costs, make sure these account statements Datuk Sri Najib does not see, and it is not sent to his office or to his house. So it's all very consistent. There are people, unseen hand, moving behind this. That is as far as Joanna Yu is concerned. Today, the ex-minister, MOF2, Datuk Usni testimony, you remember, was it yesterday or the day before? Day before yesterday. I think you can see, without me saying so, he was quite an angry man. Okay? I was trying to find out why is he so angry. Because my client couldn't give instruction, why is he so angry? So could it be just because he had to resign because he's being moved to another ministry? But even then, I don't understand. Everybody move. You rotate in order to get experience. That's how you become Prime Minister. That's how you move up. But he seems to be, in spite of 7 + 2 years in Ministry of Finance, he wants to remain. So I think his testimony indicates he was angry about that. But his breakaway from the normal evidence indicates more. Then we found out that he thought Dato' Najib was behind this woman in his office who finally lodged a report to the police that she was sexually harassed. Very detailed. There are many things she said there. She mentioned about 2 other women who approached her and things like that. Now, I find it very unimaginative. How do I imagine Datuk Sri Najib is behind this? But I asked him, what made you believe that? And he gave some reason. You remember? He gave some reasons, which you and I, we are used to being in court, cannot be accepted as proof. Because he hear from this, he hear from that, and he says, if you look at the movement of things, it must be him. Who else? Like for instance, the economic meeting. They kata, immediately after the meeting, 3-4 hours later, that minute was in Raja Petra punya hand. But you know, Raja Petra has got information. I don't know how. He can get information about many things. Yeah? You remember, he got, at one stage, he was my enemy. He got information about what I draw on my drawing board. So, you know, who gets what information? How do you know? How can you blame the Prime Minister? But he seems to think that all this is because Datuk Sri Najib leaked the message in order to sabotage it. He also thinks Datuk Sri Najib is behind the Sun's problem. The Sun was in New Pantai Express, NP, which is a subsidiary of IJM, which is a big construction company. Somehow, after that meeting, the Sun was sacked. And the company lost the contract. It was a 1 billion contract. And the Sun lost the job. That too, I think, is, you know, as a father, of course, you're very upset. But unfortunately, he blamed Datuk Sri Najib. These are facts. I'm not commenting because it came out from me. I'm not making comments, fair comment or otherwise. Just pure facts. These are the critical elements. So, the third thing is, after establishing these are the misunderstanding, perhaps the motive, we have established that Datuk Sri Najib was not hiding or taking it away from MOF2 or MOF as a whole, what was happening with SRC, or for that matter, 1MDB. Because they were made companies of MKD. If you make them company of MKD has got stricter supervision over them. And you know, in spite of this witness say, Datuk Sri Najib said, leave them alone, don't interfere anymore, words to that effect, he continued to be involved. So it shows that he was not told that. Maybe he misunderstood. Like a good example is, he suggested, let's go to Switzerland. But when I asked him, do you know, before you suggested, if you did suggest, the whole board of SRC went to Switzerland. They confirm the money there, blah blah blah. So it could be because of that. Datuk Seri Najib tak jawab dengan dia. I think if he raised it, maybe Datuk Seri Najib tak jawab. I don't think Datuk Seri Najib told him don't go. If you've got a good reason to go to recover money, I don't see why any Prime Minister or Minister of Finance will stop you. So I think there is a great deal of misunderstanding of that aspect. So similarly, you will notice that he said he was not involved, yet he continued to be signing major documents about the government guarantee. He signed the shore of approval when the shore came, or the suggestion came through SRC, or even from what do you call it, EPU. He endorsed it and said sokong. So you can't say as a minister, because he did say MOF2 and MOF1 no difference in terms of function. He did say that, and I agree. Memang betul lah. There's no difference because the job in the MOF is so big. Now, this is why I raise it with him. You cannot go to cabinet, approve, and yet say, who am I to complain? You cannot be, because then you are not performing your function as a minister. Because you got collective responsibility and you got internal responsibility. If you want to criticize, that's the time. You raise it and say, I don't agree with this, blah, 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 blah. Then if the majority decide, okay, we want to approve it, then as a collection of ministers, this is where collective responsibility come in, you have to uphold it, in spite of your personal opinion. But he never raised it personally to record, this is my objection, this is why I'm not happy. And we have also established not one single document that he has given to MOF, in particular Datuk Seri Najib, to put his views, to put down his views about certain unhappiness or dissatisfaction. He's never put down there. So as a minister, we adopt Westminster policy. Okay? We adopt the English policy. Collective responsibility, individual responsibility. You resign if you are not happy. Remember all these things. You cannot continue to be a Malaysian mentality. You cannot continue to be polite like most Malays, cakap berlapik semua, and then you don't want to raise a matter that disturbs you. And then it affects the public. So this is why I said, you've got all the opportunities, so you should raise it. Okay? These are the facts that happened day before yesterday and today.
Actually, you raised about the motivation of Dr. Sri Nazla.
Yes.
You said thought, but what's next? Do you have maybe the defense want to tell the court that this motivation cannot be, his testimony cannot be used because he has motivation?
Okay. The idea is to show, you see, when a witness gives testimony, you have to know whether it's credible. It is very credible if he has nothing to gain. Yeah? Independent witness, nothing to gain. That's why if you are a relative giving evidence on behalf of somebody else, then you go a bit further than that. But if you have motive to implicate Najib, and we show 3 motives, so the judge must view his testimony in that context.
Okay. One question about the note that you raised, allegedly a note from Dr. Sri Husni.
Yes.
To the cabinet minister.
To a sitting cabinet minister then, yeah.
Minister then. So, will you call him up as a witness?
If necessary, we'll call. If necessary, we'll call the witness. But I'm happy enough, he said, I can't remember. See, if you don't do that, how can you say I can't remember? This is a serious threat, Serious threat. How can you not remember?
Sorry, the message was sent to then cabinet.
It was text.
A text message.
Text message from him. Yeah. And I quoted verbatim.
2016. Right after.
2016.
After the resignation.
Yeah, around there. Yeah. Around there. So it shows, that I've just exposed 1%. I can do 3, I can do 5, I can do 10. But instead I can do 100% exposure. So that's another motive. That's the cream lah on the cake. Okay?
Okay, all right.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.